So let's talk about something we've all felt, right? You read the books, you get these amazing insights, and you know what you should be doing. But actually doing it? That's a whole different ballgame. In this explainer, we're going to dive right into that gap, the one between knowing and doing, and figure out how we can finally close it.
And the guiding star for this whole conversation is going to be this incredible quote from Maya Angelou. I mean, just listen to this. It's not about needing to be perfect right out of the gate. No way. It's about starting with what you've got, right where you are, and just doing better as you learn more. It's this beautiful idea of constantly, practically growing.
Okay, so let's get real. Where do we get stuck? Well, it often starts with this trap that is so human. It's this belief that if we just change something on the outside, it's going to magically fix everything we're feeling on the inside.
And this right here, this captures a cycle so many of us are trapped in. We tell ourselves these stories, don't we? Oh, when I get that promotion, then I'll feel worthy. Or once I move to that new city, then I'll finally be happy. But here's the kicker. The reality is, even when our world completely changes, that feeling inside, it pretty much stays the same. So, what's going on? Well, it turns out our brain has this really clever trick it plays on us.
It's called recalibration. Think about getting a new car. For that first week, that new car smell is just the best thing ever. But a month later, you don't even notice it. Your brain has just normalized it. It's the new normal. It's just the smell of your car. The exact same thing happens with the big stuff, that promotion, that new house. The shine wears off, it becomes your new baseline, and before you know it, you're right back to looking for the next thing to fix you. And it just goes to show the chase itself is a total illusion.
So that leads us to the first huge roadblock. If chasing things on the outside doesn't work, we tend to turn inward and get caught in a whole different kind of trap, the myth of perfection. Does that little voice in your head sound familiar? Yeah, it's got to be perfect. This is the voice that stops us from even getting started. It's this idea that if we can't guarantee a perfect, flawless outcome, then what's the point of even trying? But really, this whole quest for perfection, it isn't actually about having high standards. The truth is, perfectionism is just a really convenient mask for our fears. It gives us a great excuse to procrastinate, right? We're not procrastinating, we're planning. It protects us from being judged because we never actually put the imperfect thing out into the world. But most of all, it shields us from that deep, nagging fear of not being good enough. It keeps us safe, but stuck in this endless waiting phase.
But there's another reason we don't act, and this one's a little more subtle. It's that we often completely miss the slow, crucial growth that's happening just under the surface, all because we can't see it yet. I love this line. It introduces such a powerful metaphor. We look at a tiny little acorn and that's all we see, a small kind of insignificant seed. We totally forget that the blueprint for a giant, mighty oak tree is packed right inside it. And this is a perfect map of our own journeys. Every big thing we do starts as just a seed, an idea. Then comes the most important part, the roots. This is all the deep, messy, foundational work, the practice, the learning, the failures that nobody ever sees. It's slow. It takes so much patience to get through all the seasons. But that hidden work is exactly what makes the final oak tree strong enough to stand tall.
And this is exactly why comparing ourselves to others is so destructive. There's this great story about a family garden. The banana trees, they produce fruit in just a few months. But the avocado tree, it took over 10 years. But you know what? When it finally did, the harvest was absolutely massive. Your journey has its own clock. You can't rush your roots just because somebody else's flowers are already blooming.
So, if we can stop chasing things outside of us, and we stop comparing our hidden roots to someone else's visible branches, what's left? Well, this is the breakthrough. We finally find the courage to just be ourselves. Let's just sit with that for a second. A human being, not a human doing. Our worth doesn't come from what we do, from performing or achieving or earning our spot. Our value is just there. It's inherent in who we are. The source material talks about this false accessory, right? This mask that we all wear to try and fit in, to avoid getting a weird look from someone, to perform for an audience that we've mostly just made up in our heads. So the real question is, who are you when you finally take it off? Because this is the moment of true freedom. It's when you stop trying to be the person you think they want you to be, and you realize, wow, my actual authentic self was more than enough all along. And from that place, from that acceptance, that's when real action becomes possible. Which brings us right to our final and honestly our most important point. We've looked at the traps, we've talked about the mindset shifts, so now let's talk about the ultimate antidote to all of this procrastination and fear. Just taking action.
Oh, we all know this feeling. There's that task, that conversation, that decision we have to make, and the longer we put it off, the bigger and scarier its shadow gets in our mind. It just stalks our thoughts, it drains our energy, and it gets more and more powerful the more we avoid it. But just watch what happens the second we turn around and face it. The moment we just do the thing. The spell is broken. Poof! The shadow just dissolves. And what's left in its place is this new kind of power, a courage that we didn't get from thinking about it, but from the simple fact that the deed is now done.
Really, what this all boils down to is a simple truth. Your mind is a fantastic storyteller, but it is a terrible fortune teller. It will paint these dramatic pictures of the future based on old fears, but that future isn't real. The only way to call its bluff, the only way to prove that reality is almost never as bad as the story we tell ourselves, is to take action. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. For just a moment, forget the 10-year plan. Forget about being perfect. Based only on what you know right this second, what is the one deed, the one small action you can do to step out of that shadow and into your own power? Thanks for joining me.